Hi there. In this video, we'll be covering how do I become a published writer. Taking the step to become a published author is an awesome thing. It can help you build your credibility and connections, but it'll take some work to cross that bridge. By the end of this video, you'll learn how to tap into your background and interests and the steps you can take to help you get closer to becoming a published writer. And stay tuned until the end of the video for a free resource I really think you're going to enjoy. Let's dive in. What are you an expert in? What are you good at? What are you known for? When people introduce you at parties, what do they say? What is the thing that makes you stand out and unique and special and different? Whatever that is, tap into that. That's going to help you figure out areas of focus for you as you consider publishing and becoming a published author and taking the next step in your thought leadership journey. Being a musician, playing in the symphony or something. Unless you have that experience or unless you've grown up in that world, unless you are close to the symphony in some way, you don't have credibility to write about it. There's a lot of topics like that, but there's interest that you have. There's things that you do well, whether it's thought leadership, whether it's hobbies, whether it's running a company. There are things that only you can say and share, and it's important to be able to tap into that. I think about my wife, Susan. She is really well known in the card collecting space. People know her as Suze and Yang's Chick, social media. She's been putting out a card chat conversation every week for years and years and years, engaging people in the hobby about it. And it's just been awesome to see. She's an expert on cards and collecting. And that gives her credibility to be able to write about it and to be published in different publications about it. Figuring out what you're good at, what you understand, what you're an expert in, can help you figure out where to position yourself as you think about becoming a published writer and taking the next step in your journey. It's not enough, though, just to write and write and write. You really need to read and soak in a lot of knowledge. You need to understand what's happening in your industry, in your space, areas of focus. I think about myself with ghostwriting, and over the past couple of years, ChatGPT and artificial intelligence has really shaped the way that we approach writing and content, and I need to be knowledgeable about those things when I talk to somebody because people are going to ask me about it. And if I don't have an answer to those questions, even just to say that I'm looking into it or addressing it, it's detracting. It's a negative thing. You want to be at the forefront of the topic and focus, so you really need to be well read as much as you need to be well written. Writing and reading go hand in hand, and ultimately a lot of times when people talk about good writers, they talk about good readers. You're soaking in knowledge and information from lots of places and understanding things on a new level. In order to stay on top of something, you really need to understand all the things that are being said about it. So it's great to be well read. It's great to really stay up on things. And ultimately, being able to be well read gives you position to understand what is being published. What is being published in your space, in your area of focus, because then you can think about what's missing. What do you provide that's missing? If you're constantly reading op-eds in different publications and recognizing there's a need for your voice, it's going to make it easier for you to find that space. You really need to think about what space you inhabit and what is missing from the conversation right now that you can provide. Once you think about your unique message and the areas of focus that are missing, then you think about where you can fill it and where you can get published. What are the publications and outlets that actually focus on the things that you're interested about? And because of that, it really ties into audience. Who would actually be interested in reading about this? If you're thinking about supply chain issues, if you're thinking about high-level supply chain management, you're not going to go to a sports publication and try to pitch it. You're going to think about which outlets specifically will want to care about these topics and then start sending it to them. Start reaching out to people who work there. Start reaching out to other writers who write for them. You want to put yourself in the network of these connections to be thought of as equals or tangential to the people who are already doing these things. You need to really establish yourself in the space, and a lot of times the networks and connections you can build are going to be as valuable as the things you need to say because you really need to build those connections. Otherwise, You have these great ideas, but you don't have a way to share them. So you really need to think about connecting and aligning yourself with people who are already doing these things, the outlets that are already publishing about these things, and positioning yourself with this message to be able to fill the void that isn't being filled currently. My most important message is to stick with it. It's so easy to get rejected, whether you're trying to write an article or a book and get one person saying no to it, and you start losing faith. Is this any good? I've gotten rejected so many times, and ultimately, I thrive on the rejection. I love the rejection. It forces me to really dig deep internally and recognize that I want this, that I'm going to keep going regardless of what this person thinks, and maybe out of spite, if nothing else, I'm going to get it published just to spite them. And you really need to find out whatever fuel you have internally to keep going. But I love the rejections just because every time you're rejected, it means you're that much closer to somebody saying yes. So keep fighting through the rejections, keep believing in yourself, keep reading and learning and sharpening your skills, and eventually you're going to find an opportunity to share your message and get it out there. If you want to learn more about how do I become a published writer and specifically focusing on book writing, you definitely want to check out the next episode. I'll link to it on the screen. It's called How to Write a Book and Get It Published. In that episode, I talk about the purpose behind the book, why you would write the things that you're writing. I explore the book foundation, as well as the paths for publishing and moving forward with your book. Remember, a good book can change your life. I'm Dan Good. Thanks for watching.